What's up, y'all? Gamerface here with Sound of Drop Fall into Poison. This is the demo. Even though it looked interesting to me, the fact that there was a demo I appreciated because, rather than dropping money on a game that I might not like. So let's see what this game is all about. Already, I can tell you the game isn't full screen, which kind of makes it hard to immerse yourself in the game. Before she realized it, the girl was standing before an imposing door. The girl occasionally came to Manton Aquarium alone. She watched the manta rays, she watched the jellyfish, and finally she decided it was time to go home. Where is this? She had her doubts, but there should be nothing else there except for the aquarium. She assured herself that she had probably wandered off onto a side path. The door before her had a large padlock hanging from it. Just as she had heard, it was unlocked and merely dangling there. Heard? Gulp. The girl drew in a breath. Being locked would usually mean that it was a place she shouldn't enter, but being open just meant that a staff member had forgotten to lock it, so going in was out of the question. Her curiosity piqued, she was past the point of persuasion. Her imagination ran wild and her mind raced at the prospect of what might lie beyond the door. Just for a little bit. She opened the door and saw lots of glass tanks. Several types of fish. Oh, that music change creeped me out. Sorry. Several types of... I thought there was somebody coming behind me. Several types of fish hailing from the deep seas, from football fish and oarfish to pelican eels and barrel eyes, were swimming about. Why isn't this an exhibit? She thought it over, wondering why this would be in a closed-off area. Behind her, the door shut on its own. The girl spaced out, staring at the deep-sea fish swimming about. They would leap from the tank and swim in midair. The entirety of the room was the fish in their ocean. Though it was an unnatural occurrence, the girl treated it as quite normal. So she's on hallucinogenics? Maybe? Wasn't there originally a deep sea fish booth that was shut down? By the way, that's what the back of your eyeball looks like. She suddenly remembered. At that moment, her surroundings were dyed a deep red. The water in the tanks, the fluorescent lights, all of it was red. The girl's vision also became red. When she opened her eyes, the girl was back in her own room. It was well into the night. She couldn't remember how she had gotten home after all that. But, more importantly, she had a bad feeling about something else. It isn't red here. She became aware of how hard it suddenly was to breathe. No matter how hard she gasped, she was unable to get oxygen into her body. Like the fish, who couldn't breathe anywhere but in the water, she couldn't breathe unless she was inside that red color. She was convinced. On impulse, she threw open the window, leaned out, and thrust a hand outside. She couldn't inhale the wind flooding her room. She could only smell its milky, unpleasant scent. More. At that moment, the girl's body was tossed into the air. For just a second, her body seemed to float like a fish in the sea. Her room was on the 12th floor of her apartment building. In her fading consciousness, the girl watched her blood flow endlessly from her body. It's red. Only then could she breathe. Now everything will be fine. The girl smiled. The full moon in the night sky smiled too. Stay off drugs, kids. Terrible. Youths. Drip, drip. The sound of falling drops. The moon was concealed behind the clouds, and all the lights in the town were covered in water. The sound of it the only thing left to resonate. She couldn't tell whether it was hot or cold, merely that the humid air was encircling her. Drip, drip. Wherever they were falling to, wherever they were coming from, the drops just continued to trickle out. That single drop. I stopped it with both hands. The sound of that solitary red drop. What? Hey, babes. Or at least there's an urban legend that goes like that. Oh, okay, that makes a lot more sense. Also, screw you, game. I was trying to understand you. Talking about Manton Aquarium again? That's your new thing, isn't it? While stuffing her lunch into her mouth, Tamagawa Himeno spoke, her eyes sparkling. I had no idea which point in the story got her so excited. That's right! Isn't this the scariest part? That the girl jumped to her death smiling after coming back from Manton Aquarium? It's pretty bad. She's really excited about that. Yet you don't seem the least bit scared, Himeno. That's not true! I've got chills running down my spine. Someone who's got chills running down her spine wouldn't be eating a pastry so cheerfully. And hey, that's my meatball! This minced meat from growing calves and little piglets. It's the best! She's psychotic. Or carnivorous. Why do you have to put it like that? Jeez, why'd you have to make me lose my appetite? Because she wants your meatballs. I'll give you the rest of it. Alright, I'll take it! Himeno takes the rest of the meatballs for my lunch with amazing rhythm. The reason that Nakanobe wow, my god, why do they make the name so hard? Nakanobe Mayumi lost my appetite wasn't because Himeno's story scared me. Manton Aquarium and I are connected in a way that I'd rather not think about. Of course, Himeno has no idea about that connection. If she knew, she'd never mention Manton Aquarium around me again. At the same time, I've been afraid that this thing might cause Himeno to stop talking to me. Himeno is pretty much my only friend. Aww. Seriously, I think this whole Manton Aquarium rumor obsession is getting to be a bit much. That's a little close, Himeno. Maybe. There's so many rumors, though. Like that there's a man's ghost in the tanks, that the deep-sea fish booth is only open on a full moon, that the water changes into blood, or that you can hear crying from behind the tanks. Ah, that earlier one goes with this one. Also, Mayumi says, no, that's fine. You don't need to say anymore. Like, shut up, Himeno. I say firmly, causing Himeno to make a sour face. Yep, that's a totally sour face, I can tell. Soon after, Himeno changes the subject, first to a TV drama that aired the night before, then to some cute fake nails with cats on them she found in a magazine. Normally, the subject of Manton Aquarium shouldn't have popped up again. Anyway, getting back to what we were talking about earlier. Huh? What exactly are we getting back to? Himeno says, Manton Aquarium! I looked into it, and this Sunday will be a full moon. So we should go and see if the rumors are true or not. Ah, shit. But I know you aren't interested in stuff like urban legends, Mayu, but next week we'll start preparing for the end of the semester and I won't be able to hang out with you. Lately, we haven't gone anywhere together, have we? I know that I'm not hiding my confusion or my hesitation very well. Even so, Himeno turns her carefree grin my way. Since it's an aquarium, even if the rumors aren't true, we can still have fun, right? That's true. I love aquariums. They're very pretty. Well, that's true. They're meditative. Usually, anywhere I go with Himeno, I have fun. Whether or not we'd have fun was not what I was worried about. By the way, Mayu, in the east building of Manton Aquarium, they have a Häagen-Dazs. Häagen-Dazs. Maybe that is copyright. As in the Eden restaurant? They had closed up at one point, but it looks like they're reopening for a limited time. Really? Really? They have the cookies and cream flavor you like too, Mayu. Of course, I hesitate, but in the end, that settles it. Then we'll go, as long as we definitely get some cookies and cream. Saying you have no money because you did too much shopping is out of the question. Himeno says, I know. After all, I'm something of a glutton myself. Goes straight to her boobs. Fine, fine. In the end, we settle on Manton Aquarium and ice cream for Sunday. Since I have already received my reward money for moving on to the next grade, I don't need to worry about my allowance. Still, it's been 5 years. Did you say something, Mayu? Nope, nothing. Himeno goes, you little, as she playfully stretches my cheeks. The end of lunch chime sounds, and Himeno goes back to her own seat. If it's with Himeno, I'll be fine. That's what I told myself at the time. Okay, so that's the story. Okay, I was going to say, if that's the end of the demo, I'm going to be mad. Sunday is 3 days after that. The day I promised to go with Himeno to Manton Aquarium has arrived. We are to meet at noon at the Manton Cho station. As is customary for me, I arrive 30 minutes early. Leaning against a pillar, I do nothing but space out. Tons of people pass before me. Manton is really crowded on days off. Even so, there aren't really that many families or groups of students. Everyone around me appearing to be adults. Because of that, I quickly begin to feel uneasy. Within this crowd, I am alone. Inexplicably, my head begins to hurt. I wonder if Himeno will be here soon. I take my cell phone out and check the time. There's still 15 minutes to go until we are to meet. Since Himeno is always 3 minutes later than the time we establish, I've got about another 20 minutes. I finished reading my paperback on the train, so I have nothing to kill time with. There is nothing I can do about it, so I decide to keep myself from boredom by watching the people passing by. If I don't keep myself distracted, horrible thoughts will revive in my minds. Surprise! Suddenly, the light fades from my vision. It wasn't just that it had become dark, but that I had the sensation of being unable to breathe. For rather than sweating it, I get a little mad. I like ties. Ahaha, sorry. Hearing my wordless protest, Himeno pulled her hands away. I get playing the Who Am I game while covering someone's eyes, but covering up someone's mouth too is just like Himeno. Oh, that's cold. When I puff out my cheeks and object, Himeno just smiles at me. It's because you were staring into space, Mayu. Oh. Instead of apologizing, Himeno blew on the nape of my neck. Without thinking, I made a weird sound. Embarrassed, I looked around 2 or 3 times, but the pedestrians walking by seemed unperturbed and didn't even look our way. You're mean, Himeno. Ahaha, but I got to hear something good. No, you didn't. Moreover, As I say that, I check the time on my smartphone. It's 3 minutes to noon, our agreed upon meeting time. It's not time yet. How rare. That's rude. Jeez. I'll make you make a weird noise again. Saying that, Himeno opens and closes her fingers in small, swift grasping motions. At times like this, I know I had better change the subject or get messed with by Himeno again. What about the aquarium? You're still set on finding out about the urban legends then? Of course. That's my #1 goal. But as usual, I can't count the things I want to do on just one hand. Okay, I get it. As long as I eat cookies and cream, that is absolute. I haven't forgotten. Talking like this, it put me at ease. Oh yeah, Himeno, why did you bring such a huge bag? I'm glad you asked. With a hee-hee, Himeno opens the Boston bag she had let sink down from her shoulder. A variety of things come out, such as a flashlight, insect repellent, a simple blanket, a first aid kit, matches, and snacks like chocolate and cookies. What's all this? Himeno, where do you plan on going? Ignoring the twitch developing in my face, Himeno thumps her chest. Geez, to the aquarium! But since we're investigating urban legends, we should at least have some supplies. Stutters. Rather than an investigation, the equipment she has reminds me more of going camping in the mountains. The snacks and blanket aside, where in a city this size would we need insect repellent or a flashlight? I keep those feelings to myself and just smiled. I let out a breath that is half exasperated, half amused. I don't get sick of being with Himeno. Whether Himeno is aware of my exasperated gaze or not, she starts to take something out, then quickly shoves it back in. Phrasing. She gives me a smile implying some secret. Ah, no wait, it's too soon for you to see that. Ah, what were you about to pull out? Phrasing. I'm not telling. Upon saying that, Himeno quickly closes the bag. The way I see it, it's a wonder she fit all the supplies she had out just a moment ago. I wonder where it's all being stored. Really? Giving a brief answer, I start walking. Once I get thinking, I don't usually stop, so the conversation shifts to a ramen shop that catches my eye. Oh, Mayu, do you want to get lunch? Huh, you caught that? Feeling as if she had seen right through me, we head into a nearby coffee shop. Well then, about our plans for today. Himeno starts in as soon as we have finished eating. We'll start with the aquarium. No matter what, that's the main thing, so we'll look into the old man's ghost and the closed-off deep-sea fish booth rumors. After that, we'll go to the shops and finally have some ice cream. I think it's better to get the cookies and cream first. If you eat 2 times, you'll mess up your stomach and get fat. You won't be able to wear a bathing suit. Priority number 1, ladies! Okay, then we'll stick with my plan. That was a delicious meal. What the shit? I thought this was scary. Urged on by Himeno, I decide to leave the ice cream shop for another time. Longest ever. Talking about silly things together, we leave the station behind. As opposed to the station's excellent cooling system, the city streets have a peculiar humidity and heat to them that envelops our bodies. We weave our way through the crowds until we are 10 minutes away from the station, finally ending up in front of a skyscraper. In this town of people older than us, Himeno scans the panels for each floor without fear, saying, the aquarium is... People are concentrated around the panels. Of little help to Himeno in trying to take up as little space as possible, I leave the search to her and gaze up at the building. I look up and up, but the top of the building is so far I think my neck will snap. That's magnificent. This building was built not long after I was born. It had been finished before I could walk, but the first and only time I came here was in elementary school. The instant I think back on my first visit, my head begins to hurt. I sense a theme. What the fuck was that? No, I have to try not to think about it. Those are things from long ago, things from the past, things that are done. I can do nothing but deal with the pain that feels as if something is pressing against the inside of my skull. I finally hear Himeno calling me in a loud voice. The elevator's this way. Come on. I push away my headache and step through the automatic door. The information at the entrance and the placement of the crane game are exactly the same as that day, giving me a slightly bad feeling. Is that it? Is there supposed to be anything on the screen? I don't know. Oh. What did I do? I skipped it. Okay, good. That was annoying. Okay, this has probably been a long episode, although I'll probably end up cutting a lot out because that was a lot of dialogue. But thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate it. Comments are always welcome in the comment section below, and I would always appreciate a like or a subscribe. And I will see you in the next part of Sound of Drop, Fall into Poison, the demo. So, thanks guys. Bye!